Good evening, ladies. Welcome to the Miller Family Room recording studio, where your host, Jennifer Miller, is sick, on the couch, and under a blanket. Do not be alarmed, though. I have put on deodorant today, and I have brushed my hair just for you. Just be thankful, this is not a video. All kidding aside, I couldn't let Jamie have all the fun being opening Thursday night. That's when she comes alive, so I had to get a few laughs in there. On a serious note, ladies, I'm so thankful for this opportunity and this challenge to be able to come before you and share the things that I have found in the scriptures and through my topic. It saddens me, though, to not be able to be with you and to see your faces and to encourage you this weekend and to have some one-on-one time. This is a favorite time of mine each year, and I'm really bummed that I get to miss that opportunity. But the Lord has other plans, obviously, and I'm thankful for the technology to be able to still share the things that I've been working on and to have the opportunity to do things that challenge me and that put me outside of my comfort zone. I hope that there will be no coughing fits through this, and if there is, I apologize up front, and please bear with me. As I look into my empty family room, I see so many of your beautiful faces and smiles, which encourage me greatly, and it puts my mind at ease, and it comforts me, and I just want you to know that I'm with you there in spirit this weekend, and that I'm as disappointed to not be there as anybody. So please know that you guys are missed so much. All right, let's get started. The theme, obviously, for the camp is to love your neighbor. And I have been given the topic, the Lord as our first love. The topic verse that I was given was Mark 12:30 through 31 and verse 33. Please don't turn there because I've burned at least 3 minutes with my opening comments. However, we are going to go back to the beginning. Oh yes, it's a very good place to start. No, I'm not going to sing it with my voice tonight. With this first commandment, all else stems off of this platform. Go ahead and turn to Deuteronomy chapter 6, 4 through 9. Deuteronomy 6, 4, 9. I would like to paint maybe a more vivid picture for you. Maybe you would have some increased understanding of this topic. There's nothing new, ladies. There's nothing earth-shattering that I have come up with. It's all stuff you've heard. You've studied probably on your own. But hopefully I can just paint some more adjectives into this picture and make it a little bit more colorful and make it a little bit more alive. Let's go ahead and start in verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. And these words which I command to you today shall be in your heart. You shall diligently teach them to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontals between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Ladies, this is a serious business that the Lord has contracted with us to be united with Him and to be one with Him. And whether you have taken on that challenge and that relationship with the Lord, or it's something that you haven't taken on yet, but you're working towards, I hope that this will be an encouragement to you. The Lord is one, the only true source of life and love. He will desire, and he does require, your affection, your energy, time, and action. Those are things that we're going to be referring back to fairly often through here. Let's go ahead and tackle verse 5. It says, love the Lord with all of your heart. I want to do a little bit of a deeper dive into some of these words and pick them apart a little bit so we can get a really good definition. What is the Lord really communicating to us? Heart means an innermost part of a person, character, feelings, inclination, desire, love, affection, drive, value, and what is deemed as precious. I would label that with requiring our affection and energy. Love the Lord with all of your soul. Soul is the innermost part. Funny, because that's the same definition as heart. Inner man, total self, psyche, or the totality of a person. Not small entities of the human being. I would label that one as requiring our affection and our energy. Love with all of your strength is the next verse. If we break strength down, we hear words like might, power, authority, resources wielded, energy, and I particularly really liked this one, intensity of which one is capable. Let that sink in. I would label this one as requiring energy and action. Love with all your understanding is the next verse that he requires of us. Understanding could be an agreement, a pact, a promise, contract, covenant, deriving, reasoning, to form an opinion or reach a conclusion through reason and information. To have practical understanding of, or knowing, or comprehending. It's kind of like when you're in the schoolroom or you're at home and you're dealing with kids and you explain something and you look to kids and you say, "Do you get it?" And they noddingly smile and nod their head, "Yes, I get it." And you really realize that they didn't hear a word you said and there was no comprehending what you initially said or explained. That understanding is not just something, a head knowledge, it's something that is really comprehended and reached through a conclusion of reason and information. To be intentional, to be thoughtful, and with purpose. I put energy, time, and action that were requirements for this one. The next word on how to love the Lord was love the Lord with all of your mind. The mind can be broken down to part of a person that feels, thinks, and especially reasons. As you can see, understanding and mind have some of the same characteristics. Intellect perceives, wills, with all of these, it is with all that we have, or our whole being. This is really something that is all-consuming. If I had to mark the mind, I would say that it requires energy, time, and action. As you can see, so many of these overlay and they're interwoven. They really interlace. And it would be really hard to separate any of them and pull one out because they're so tightly woven together with really being like the totality of a person, as we got the picture of with heart and soul, the inner man, our understanding, our reasoning, our affection. All of those things are all bound into one. I think the Lord knew what he was doing when he stated that you shall love the Lord with all of your heart, soul, understanding, mind. I think the Lord knew what he was telling us. With all of these things put together, we have the whole being. We have the being on a physical level. We have it on an emotional level, spiritual, and mental. And it's all wrapped up into one. We have the person as a whole, but down to the core. When we realize that these are the things that the Lord has asked us how to love him, we realize that there's no room for anything else left on the table when you've tackled the person to such a depth as that. We begin to find that what should take precedence and priority might be different than maybe what we've assumed. Or maybe we just need to go back and have a little checklist made. Maybe we should find out what things might need to be deemed as less worthy or maybe less important. Maybe they're still important. There are so many things that are. And then we might need to realize that, wow, there's some things on the list or the things that maybe I participate in or that I do that, frankly, they aren't important at all. Just as in a good marriage, I'll remind us that most of us are in that. Whether you're physically married or not, most of you are still spiritually married. We realize that when we have engaged ourselves into those relationships, that we're completely invested through good, bad, hard, uncomfortable, and probably, honestly, what's unpopular. This brings me to the next topic that I want to talk about. When we're trying to prioritize and label where we're going to put our time, our energy, our affection, and our actions, we need to know what we're dealing with. The Bible warns us there are so many distractions in the world. You don't need me to tell you that. They're everywhere. They're on billboards. They're on everything accessible to our phone. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9, please. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9 says, "Only take heed to yourself and diligently keep yourself, lest you forget the things your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life. Teach them to your children and to your grandchildren." We have a big job, ladies. This is not to be taken lightly. Take heed. Be diligent. Keep are words that stand out to me. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 12. "Then beware lest you forget the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Beware is a pretty serious word. Lest we forget. It's kind of like the Lord knew that there might be opportunity for us to maybe not be as intentional as we should, or maybe just not as purposeful. He knew that there were going to be lots of distractions out there. He put warnings in the scriptures for our protection, not as a law, but because he loves us and he cares for us. The word forget reminds me of the word understanding that we already looked at. We can just label that as just not being intentional. Through this verse, what the Lord has done for us is taken us out of the world. He did that for the Hebrews when he took them out of Egypt and out of the house of bondage when they were slaves. He has done the same thing for us, ladies, in regards to sin, taking us out of a slave relationship to sin and Satan himself, to forgive our sins, to give us a new heart, a new life, and to be seated in the heavenly places with a new mind, his mind. Make no mistake, everything on a daily basis is fighting for our affection, for our time, our energy, and our action. If you'll pop down to verse 17, you shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. And we're going to read the first part of 18. And you shall do what is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with you. Verse 17 tells us to be diligent. Other words come to mind are vigil, sober, steadfast, purposeful. Diligence requires effort and action. It requires intention. It will not happen accidentally. And it will require a plan. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6, please. The one thing I miss in doing this as a recording is I miss hearing all of you ladies turn the pages. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Be careful to observe them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the peoples who hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. How do you think they got to be wise and understanding? Through what God had given them, and he gives us the same things. We are urged to be careful and to observe, to gain wisdom and understanding. With so many distractions, we have to be so protective of our time and our minds, our hearts, our emotions, and our actions. Deuteronomy 6:18. And you shall do what is good and right in the sight of the Lord. And I have no idea why I'm reading that again, because I did this like 8 times yesterday. Well, we're reading it one more time. So, you shall do what is good and right in the sight of the Lord. The Lord's definition of good and right is far different than the world's. We have to ask ourselves the question, is this really good? Well, what is good? Because the world has things that appear good when they are not so good. One of my favorite verses that I would really love for you to turn to is Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Jonah, Micah, Nahum. It's right before Nahum. Micah 6:8. He has shown you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. He has shown us by example what is good. The Lord requires of us to do justly and to love mercy, to walk humbly with your God. There's a couple of passages that I want to just read for time's sake. Psalm 34:14 says, "Depart from evil, do good, seek peace, and pursue it." That section that says depart from evil, you could replace that with do away with or cast aside. Leave, run away from. Do good, seek peace, and pursue it. Romans 12:9 says cling to what is good. We must set ourselves up for success. But in order to do that, there's some things that we have to realize. There is a competition for your mind, heart, soul, and understanding, as Deuteronomy 6 alludes to. The God of this world wants our time and energy, our affection, sometimes our money, and our actions. There are so many voices that vie for our head and heart space. Please take the time to be quiet with your own thoughts. We need to shut out those voices. We can't rely on what is told to us, what is good and what is bad. We have to ask the questions ourselves. What's real? What is lasting? Does this have eternal value? Is this truly good? What will remain? This world is a shell. It is a husk. It's one of those storefronts when you walk into an area and you are delighted by the scenery around you because maybe the shops are beautiful and they're tantalizing because they have beautiful things and colors and there's life that seems to teem from them. And then your husband comes in and says, "Honey, all those are just fake storefronts and it's designed to appeal to you, but it's like everything else that's for sale around on the other block. It's just a marketing scheme." Well, he's right. It is a marketing scheme. It gives the appearance of real and important because it is tangible and it is touchable and it's what we see. Do not think because you can see it that it qualifies as being real. We have to keep things in the proper perspective. We have to be intentional and we have to be purposeful. Turn to Hebrews chapter 3, verse 19 quickly. There's this one little verse that addresses the Old Testament people as they came from the wilderness. And it says, "So we see that they could not enter in," and it's talking about into his rest from the previous verse 18. "Because of unbelief, because they did not obey." Where we have love, we have belief. And that belief is going to promote more love. And that love is going to lead to action. Where we invest ourselves is where our affection grows to be. If you do not like where your affection resides, adjust your investment of your time and where you place your energy. You don't have to be satisfied with where you're at. If you know that you can up your game and you can be better, adjust what you need to adjust. It's never too late. God always wants us to be tweaking things and adjusting where we can to live up to his standard. One thing that I would caution is that it's so easy to become discontent, and the world promotes it so much. I don't have to explain to you, ladies, that it's just about on every corner. What you're entitled to, what you should have, it should be what everybody else has. If you don't, that's unfair. It is fair. You're at where you're at. If you want something better, dive down and go for it. Grab it. Drive for it. But don't allow discontentment to seep in. Discontentment leads to grumbling and complaining. Be content. Be grateful. Show gratitude. If you can adjust your perspective, those are the things that produce love. Remember, loving him with all of our being, with our whole heart, will lead us. 2 Corinthians 5:14, I'm just going to read it for time's sake. The love of Christ compels us. It drives us. If you think that you can have more affection for the Lord, adjust your investment of time. Spend more time with him. Spend more time in his word. Spend more time with his people. The next one I want to read is 2 Corinthians 13:11. Become complete. Be of good comfort and be of one mind. The Lord's mind. We are one. One Lord, one mind, one body. True peace and happiness are found where that resides. Remember, love equals belief, and belief yields to more love. It's circular. They will eventually lead in turn to action. We have discussed what we should invest in, or what maybe we need to invest more in. Perfect love leads to action. True love and life only come from God. What is important to God should be important to us. It's not a law. It's not a regulation. It's out of love, out of pure desire, and it should drive us. Let's go back again to the beginning. We're not going to turn anywhere because you know it, ladies. In the beginning, God breathed life into man, and he said, "It is good." He is still in the process of breathing life into mankind. Life comes from life. We have life if we are grafted to him. If we love the Lord, we will in turn love others. We can't help it. It's a natural byproduct. And we will love his people, those who are saved and those who are not yet saved. We are God's conduit. He works through us. Remember, love yields belief, and belief yields action. The action we are led to by our love, our full devotion of our being for the Lord, is sharing his word, delivering the life-giving message. Without it, there is no life or love. In the parable of the fig tree, Mark has been going over some of these recently, and this one really caught me because I've read through this and I understood the principle, but it really hit me about, 3 weeks ago or something, maybe 4 weeks ago. And I thought, wow, that's really remarkable. And I thought I would share. And it's probably something you ladies have already figured out. But it just seemed a little bit, it just stood out to me. The fig tree, full of leaves, in Mark 11:12 through 14, is cursed by Jesus. One would wonder why it is cursed by Jesus. As he and the disciples passed by, this tree stood tall, firmly rooted, in full leaf. Beautiful tree. Sorry. Full of leaves. Healthy looking. Not what I would have chopped down in my backyard if it was full of leaves. Jesus curses the tree because there's no figs on it. Why in the world does Jesus curse the fig tree when it's not even the season for figs? This seems a little harsh. When Jesus comes looking for fruit, he expects to find fruit. In season or out of season. My encouragement to you ladies is be ready in season and out of season. Making disciples and working with those around us is the action that our love and our belief will produce. It's a natural byproduct. We are led to this from loving the Lord with our whole being, because nothing is more important. Be in season always, as the Lord expects us to be, because he always expects us to be producing. We're always in season. Let's go ahead and turn to Deuteronomy chapter 6, and we're going to wrap things up here tonight. Deuteronomy 6:24 and 25. The Lord commanded us to observe all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day. Then it will be righteousness for us if we are careful to observe all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he has commanded us. The word observe here has other words that could depict a picture for us. Paying attention to. Register as being significant. Notice. Discern. Watch carefully or attentively. To keep. I love the pictures that the Lord gives us to communicate the significance and the value he has placed on each individual person and what he desires from us. The Lord is in love with you. He chose you. He has a plan for you. Give your best to him in your affection, your energy, your time, and your actions. 1 Peter 1:8. And though you have not seen him, you love him. And though you do not see him now, but believe in him, you greatly rejoice with joy inexpressible and full of glory, obtaining as the outcome of your faith the salvation of your souls. Deuteronomy chapter 4, 29 through 31. We're going to skip part of 30 just for time's sake. But from there, you will seek the Lord with your God, and you will find him if you seek him with all your heart, purposefully, intentionally, with everything you have, nothing left on the table, and with your whole soul. The bottom half of 30 says, when you turn to the Lord your God and obey his voice, for the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not forsake you, nor destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which he swore to them. Psalm chapter 27, verse 8. I love this psalm. when you say, "Seek my face." My heart said to you, "Your face, Lord, I will seek." I will seek him. Give him a whole heart worth of affection, time, energy, and action. Decide what is worthy of those things. Be purposeful. Be intentional. Be diligent. Seek his face. Help others do the same. Love him with your whole heart, your mind, your soul, your strength, and your understanding. Thank you, ladies. I love you.